good shows up in so many ways that I don't want to be lauded for, even at a young age, he thought about good. It's just that I think there's a common, humanity that we share, and this other thing gets injected into it. And so I just kind of lived in the place where the common humanity was. Leave that boy alone. Y'all are not going to jump. 3 of y'all are not going to jump one person. That's not going to happen. That's just ridiculous. And how can you feel like you're being powerful by 3 of you beating on one person? That's not going to happen. Not while I'm here. Earn your business. I just made this my business.
And
what I mean? That's who I was.
And I
that's
think
who I be.
And I think also, Reverend Taylor, I think kids don't realize it's those simple fundamentals of life, that other children laugh at and they mock, like the whole yes ma'am, no ma'am, having manners, opening the door for young women, being respectful of adults. Kids, I notice, especially now more than ever, they laugh at that kind of stuff. They think that's...
Kids got that from their parents. Just like I got, that's Miss Annette, that's Mr. James. Hi, Mr. James. Say hello to Mr. James. Hi, Mr. James. Kids, I got that from my mama. We can't look at these kids today and make them out to be some sort of demons. They got it from their parents. The death of Big Mama caused this foolishness. And now, when we say cute stuff like 30, 50 is the new 30. No, 50 is still 50. You can't go to the club. I don't want you to show up in the club with me. There's that Tide commercial where the woman, steals her daughter's blouse and goes partying with it and then has to wash the stain out of it. I think that commercial is ridiculous. You don't need to be in the same top or the same club dancing to the same music as your child. And I know it makes you feel old, but you old. You're older than your child. You should not be listening to you should not be listening to Justin Bieber because you grew up on Justin Timberlake a generation before. Listen to Justin Timberlake and grow up with him. You don't get to maintain your childhood. You had these children on purpose. They are now your responsibility.
Reverend
parents who want to listen. If I'm 47, I want to listen to hip hop. I'm going to listen to my hip hop. I don't need to be head bopping a Little Wayne with my son. That's ridiculous.
Reverend Taylor, have you thought of when you were a child and you were receiving this harassment? Had you ever thought of taking your own life as Tyler and Phoebe did?
Suicide never entered my childhood mind, and I think it was because my brain, and maybe I thank God for television. I always thought that, believed that, hoped that there was something outside of the parameters of the projects. You know what I mean? Even when there weren't black people, all over television. When I saw the, Good Times, all they had was the projects too, but there was also the Jeffersons, and so they moved on up. And I thought there's got to be something beyond here. People who know me know that Natalie Cole is my favorite singer on the planet. Natalie Cole is my favorite singer, yes, because she did This Will Be in Our Love and great songs, but I saw her on television one day talk about beginning her singing career while she was in college. And until she said, in college, I did not know black people could go to college. And so at 11, I heard this black woman talk about college. And when my mother came home, I told her, Mama, I'm going to college. Oh, that's nice, baby. And she's thinking, she's working 3 jobs, we live in a project, whatever. But, there were things that gave me a vision outside of where I was, And because, all I had to do for that day was to get away from that one bully or get home, Now our kids aren't even safe. Phoebe wasn't safe at home. Tyler was in his own bedroom. You understand that? The places where we, a generation or 2 generations before, used to at least be trying to run to get to safety are still no longer safe. That's why we're seeing this onslaught of suicides, because the kids that used to, be able to be sent to their rooms are more prisoner in their room than they are outside of the house. You go on your Facebook where you think, I'll just look up some of my friends, and you got a plethora of nasty comments on your page. You go to, play games on your phone, and then all of a sudden somebody texted out something about you, and people get to text something back to you. So you're no longer safe. So these kids who have gone this horribly sad, last route. Tyler was where did he think he had to go back to? Before he got to know the campus really well and know the resources, his bedroom was invaded. so he couldn't cry on his bed. The person who had done this to him lived right across the room.
What advice would you have given to? I'm gonna go specifically with Tyler, just because y'all situations are almost.
Well, I mean,
identical.
God bless you for doing this and focusing on Tyler and Phoebe. But for me in this work, there's Tyler, there's Joseph Jefferson here in New York, there's Raymond Chase, who killed himself at Johnson and Wales in Providence, Rhode Island. You know, there's little Jose Herrera, who is in Atlanta, Georgia, and 11-year-old Carl Hoover Walker, who was in Boston, Mass. You know, the same. You know, I would give the same advice to each, and that is reach out to somebody. The reason I did my It Gets Better video was because when I heard about the campaign, you know, I was looking for myself, because I thought, oh my God, what if I were Tyler or Raymond or Joseph today, 16, 17, and being harassed everywhere? What would I do? Oh my God, if I see this It Gets Better campaign, I'll go looking to see who talks to me. And then I look into a white man, white woman, white man, white woman, white man. Okay, there's a black man, but he's in a group of white people. What about the young colored boy who's just looking for a strong colored man like himself to say, it gets better? And that's the reason I did my video. And I was so proud that other black men said, I did this video because I saw Rev Cavs. Like Kevin Taylor, my friend, told me I should do one of these, because I did mine and then emailed all my friends, black, male and female, Latino, Asian, please, if you care, put up a video so that little kids that look like you can see you when they go looking for themselves. And to just be able to say, I've been in those same projects. I've been in that same abusive church family, that same abusive, physical family, in that same neighborhood. I've had those same 5 guys chase me home from school, and then each of them tried to be with me afterwards, separately. I know the trouble you're in. I know the place you're in, and I'm here. Here's my email. Here's a way to reach me. I was really thinking like my 1970s, self. I'll be your pen pal. When I'm on Rutgers campus, the kids always like, can I have your phone number? Would it be okay if I text you? Sure. If that's what it takes to save your life in 2011, here's my cell phone number. Here's my email address. We have got to come out of the closets of our lives. People don't know their kids anymore. People don't know their neighbors anymore. People don't care to know their coworkers anymore. And that's where we're in trouble. We're in such desperate trouble now, because kids don't feel like they can go to their teacher, because they can't go to their neighbor, because they can't go to their parents. Parents are too busy. They don't know the neighbors. The teachers are too overwhelmed. And the kids are coming at them relentlessly. So the youth are coming, their peers are coming at them, harassing them relentlessly, and the adults are too busy to care. That is a sad commentary on America, on parenting, and on how we care about our future generations. And so the advice that I would have for that young person is to just keep looking for yourself. Black like me, female like me, gay like me, a lesbian like me, tall like me, smart like me. I have had more kids reach out to me because of the nerd comments. To be a nerd in the hood, I promise you, is the worst of all. To be smart means that you're not considering just where we are. It means you're already thinking about leaving here. And people will beat you for that quicker than almost anything else that I can imagine.
And one last question, Reverend Taylor. If you could, the young ladies involved in the Phoebe Prince case, if you could gather those ladies up in a single room, those ladies who literally harassed her to death, if you could get them into a room by themselves, what would you say to them?
I don't know that I could get them in the room by themselves. I'd have to bring their parents in the room. I'd have to. Because what their parents are going to sit with now is the, honey, it's not your fault. You didn't do anything. I'm so sorry. And the whole kind of just try to make it go away. And there are some real parts of this that those girls need to take responsibility for and sit in so that they can be clear about what they did, how it broke Phoebe and caused her to take her life, and what they can do now. It's very much like the drunk driver who then goes around speaking to other drunk driving classes saying, I know the pain of what this can cost, don't do it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or the people who, who speak to alcoholic and, who speak to, various and sundry groups, or people who come out, to speak to victims of crime. These young ladies' lives could be useful because I thought it was just, and I realized it was this. We used to say when I was growing up, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt me. That's a lie today. And I could give those young ladies the empowerment to not take back their words, but now reuse those same words to stop other little girls who think they're just being playful, it's just fun, everybody else did it, to say no, it stops here.
And you're right, Reverend Taylor, those girls' lives, their faces and their names, even though they were minors technically, their faces and their names were flashed all
everywhere,
across
right? And then some of the same people,
nation.
Some of the same people who got in line with them to harass Phoebe then turned around and harassed them like, oh my God, how could you do that? I didn't think it would get that bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, wait, last week you were doing the same thing with me to her. You know what I mean? So I just don't want people to feel like if I hide around the corner, I can escape this. You can't escape throwing word bombs at people and thinking they have no effect. That's got to stop. And it's got to stop with their parents, who hang up the phone and cuss at somebody, who scream at somebody in the car, who say something about a coworker, who say something about a neighbor. These kids get these vile habits from their parents.
The Reverend Kevin Taylor, pastor of Unity Fellowship Church in New Brunswick, New Jersey. Reverend, thank you so much. And
you're so welcome, Ed. And I wish you, so much success with what you're doing, and especially, this taking these community-based efforts on. This is just a powerful thing, and I'm just so glad that we have another vehicle to show people, young and old, that it really does get better and they can move forward.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Have a great weekend, okay?
You too. All right.
Good night.